Hello, what's up? Just if you're Jim in the house. Okay, so I want to talk about a few insults and stuff like that. How to deal with those. I'm gonna tell a little story first. It's not an insult. Actually, I called it a crime. Some people refer to it as racism, some discrimination. But I was in Starbucks and I was talking to this one European girl, and she was telling me how there's a lot of racism here in Japan. And so I said, well, there's not racism here, because the word racism means a whole group of people oppressing another whole group of people and things like that. The real definition of what racism is supposed to be. And I said it's discrimination. So whether, so she said, okay, discrimination, whether or not she truly agreed with me or not, it's fine. But so we discussing on that. So she was telling me that there were some really bad things happening to her here and stuff, And of course, in my videos, I keep everything positive. And like I said, bad things do happen here, but I only talk about the positive things because my whole mission is not to come and insult Japan about, its natural problems when, we got problems in our own homes that we need to deal with and don't deal with them. But she said that she was out in the parking lot of this place where we're at, and she got spat on 3 times by these old Japanese men. So I was like, wow, And she said that's discrimination or racism or whatever. And I said, no, it's not racism. It's not discrimination. That's a crime. And I said, when somebody spit on you, that's not anything, nothing more than a crime. They assaulted you, And I said, next time that happens, you get your phone and you videotape it, you upload it to YouTube, then go to the police. Because if you go to the police, you never know how people are thinking and stuff. And if they delete it, and then there's no evidence, then you'll be out of luck. So she was like, oh, okay. So we continued to talk and things like that. And basically what I told her, because the same thing happened to me. I was on the train one day and this old man purposely sneezed on me. And I should have got up. I knew he was going to do it. And I just sat there, and said, no, he's not going to do it. Some said, yes, he's doing it. Because you could see the way he prepared his nose like this over towards me. And I'm like, oh. And, I ain't going to lie. The first thought, I was thinking about, I should just knock him out, And that's just something. And it's not that my first thought. It was just, I go through my mind, what should I do? And, the pictures of watching people, watching news and stuff like that, or watching, events and things like that. So I said, well, after he did it, I just wiped it off and I just kept on doing what I was doing. I just ignored him and stuff because I could have easily hit him and hurt him, and I wanted to tell the station manager and call the police on him also at that time, but I was going to work and I didn't have time. And so I just said, okay, forget it, because that was my fault because I should have got up because I knew what he was going to do. But, I told her, had I hit this guy, then I would have probably more than likely got in trouble because a lot of people would have saw it. There's no way I would have been able to get away because they got cameras everywhere. And I would have ended up getting in trouble. He would have got a little excitement in his life because evidently he's bored and maybe a little bit on the insane side because, when people get bored, they start talking to themselves and stuff, and it's a little schizophrenic. And plus, you're going to get money, So I said, okay, fine. I'm not going to play into his game, which I kind of did, by not moving. And so she was a little surprised. She was like, wow, that happened. I said, yeah. And then I told her, like I tell my students, okay, and this is the story that I told her that I told my students. In my English class on Mondays, I have some 4th graders. And right now they're studying this vocabulary book that most Japanese kids have when they're in high school. And they're studying for college preparation tests, or you can use it for TOEIC too. And they're in the 4th grade, so they're doing this. So one of the girls was saying something. Oh, I gave him a vocabulary test of 54 words. And I gave him a week to practice. One of the girls got a 92 on it. 40. She's in the 4th grade, and she got a 92. The boy, he got like a, I don't know, 3% or 10% because he never studies. And another girl, she really tries, but she only got a 54%, but it's still over 50%. So, which is not good, but I think the way she studied, her mother told her the word in Japanese and she said it in English, and she should have learned the word in English and then said it in Japanese. But when the one girl was asking me a question, the boy said something and kind of insulted her, and so she started crying. So I kind of got a little upset, because I didn't get upset, but I was like, okay, fine, let me go and explain this to him, because I didn't want to take class time out to explain it to him, but it is important. So I wrote a picture of a person, 2 people, 2 circles, and put a face on A. And I said, now let's say I drew a speech bubble, and then I drew a thought bubble on the person A. And I said, if the person A said, when someone insults you, the first thing they have to do is they have to see you, okay? Then they have to create this image in their heads of how you are or whatever, and these defaults, they have to create this image, okay? Then when they create the image, then they're going to say something to you based on that image. And then I drew the same thing of the other person, and just the thought bubble. And I said, now when A says something negative to B, B also cannot just get upset. You can't get upset. You just don't function like that. You have to have an image, and then your emotions flow. No, you have to have the image, then you have to label it, and then you have to release your emotions. All this stuff doesn't happen, automatic. I mean, it happens automatically, but it's not like there are no steps. There are steps to it. And I said that in my other Free Your Mind videos. And so I said, what's going on is B hears the person and understands that the person's supposed to be angry based on our definition of the word angry and things like that. And so B thinks it creates an image in his head. Then when B creates this image in his head, then B label it sad. And now the image that B is creating in his head is the image that B thinks that A has. So then B labels it as sad or angry, whatever, and then release the emotions to go through it. Okay. And then I said, now, tell me something. The image that's in A's mind of B, do you think it's the same, do you think it's the same image that B has that B thinks A is thinking? And they said, no. So I said, so both of these images are different, right? And they said, yes. And I said, so why would you get upset over an image that's just most impossible for you to think about? Because when someone does insult you, you do have to have an image that you can animate. It's not like someone can say something to you and it's just a word like jump, or I wouldn't say jump, that's an action verb, but it's like a verb like a word like the. No matter what you do, you can't animate the. It's just there, So you can't get upset. There's no emotional evocation or provocation or nothing, So I told them, I said, when this young man, this little boy, however you want to call it, says something negative about you, and you know that it's not true, and you know that whatever it is, that he has to have an image of you, and you can't imitate that image. Now I can understand if they do a character of you and send as you, fine. You know, because all they're doing when they're doing this, they're just drawing a character, and then they're saying it's funny, and they're releasing their emotions, and then start laughing, and they're just considered it funny, when it could be a work of art, and other people might think it's beautiful, and it won't even have anything to do with you. Or some people might think it's crap, you know, and they'll laugh, and I'm like, you know, that's not a funny joke. You know, that's not insensitive. That's stupid. And we have, probably most of us have been in that situation. I know I've been in that situation a lot, so that's why I don't joke or purposely joke. Now, I might say something that's funny, and people say, oh, that's funny, you're funny and stuff like that. But purposely making jokes, I am terrible at that, so I don't do it. So, when I told her that you have to create this image, and you can't, it's impossible to create A's image of you in your own head. You can't do it. And so since you can't do it, then why would you react to whatever A is saying if it's nothing threatening? Or if they're not going to hit you. I said if they put their hands on you, that's a different story. You break it off. You know, but other than that, and what I mean by break it off is you defend yourself, because your reactions, your normal body reaction is going to kick in, and you're going to defend yourself. And if you got the strength and the way you defend yourself, you can break something just defending yourself, you know. So that's what I mean by break it off. And I said, so if you can't think of the same image, why would you get upset? And the boy realized what I was saying, and he just got this sad look on his face, and the other two girls just started laughing. And I said, when he's doing that, all they doing is just, you know, to me, when I say they doing that, you know, they just being, it's just like a form of being schizo. You know, just creating these images in your head, and you're the only one laughing. It's like you're making a joke, and you're the only one that's laughing at your joke, because no one else is getting it, or no one can imagine what the image is that you are saying, that someone is saying, so that they can label it, animate it, and then laugh again. Okay? So when I said that, you know, the girl felt better, and the boy, he just immediately stopped his jokes. And next week, I'm sure he's going to say it again. So I'm going to, of course, each time he does it, I'm going to remind him and stuff. So I told her the same thing. I said, when these people are looking at you, because she was saying how she don't like people looking at her, and if she feel uncomfortable and things like that. But yeah, she's lonely. And so I said, well, you're lonely. I said, you're lonely, right? She said, yeah. I said, so how can you, if you don't, I said, the reason you're probably lonely is because you don't like people walking up, talking to you. I mean, looking at you. And if they don't look at you, then they can't walk up to you. And if they don't walk up to you, they can't talk to you, which means you're lonely. You know, she kind of thought about it. She said, oh, that's true. I said, when someone's looking at you, they might, whatever they're thinking, fine, but you don't know until you actually walk over there and ask that person, what are you thinking? The only thing you're doing is guessing, okay? And if you're guessing about something that you just know you don't know, and you're thinking of this, and then you're acting on it, I say wouldn't you agree that's a little bit schizophrenic? And she started laughing. She said, yeah, I think so. And I said, so until you know what someone is thinking, then if I were you, I wouldn't worry about it. I said, a lot of people look at me. But I said, when people look at you, you know, they're probably looking at you because you could be different, or you're a woman, or they might like your lips, or your nose, or your eyes, or your body. I said, you don't know. You know, and I said, and they might want to talk to you. So while you're over there thinking like, oh, this person's looking at me, you know, and I don't like it, they might be thinking like, well, you know what? Wow, she's a foreigner, and when you look at her face, you can pretty much tell where she's from. You know, guess really close, guess where she's from. And then they say, I want to talk to her, but I'm too shy, or maybe she's too shy, or maybe she doesn't like me, and you know, and so these people in there, everyone is creating all of these images and things like that in their heads, and it's just schizophrenic. And that's one reason, you know, I said that's a lot of reasons why a lot of people just don't get along. It's not even because they don't like each other or anything like that. It's because they're thinking themselves out of, they're thinking situations that might not be true, or that's more than likely not true, because they don't know. Now, I can understand if you're in a black neighborhood and you see a rival gang member and stuff like that, and you go over there and you guys get into it, but you know that's not the same. It's just idiocy, because you're practicing what you're going to do when you see it. So it's almost like a routine. You know, I see someone I don't like, this is what I'm going to do. And you keep practicing and you practicing, and then when the situation happens, whether you want to do it or not, it's almost like automatic. You know, you just jump to it, and then, you know, once you commit an action and someone else sees it, then they're going to react, and, you know, things just going to get out of hand. So I told her, you know, you need to just stop creating these images and stuff in your head. And I said, you can travel, you know, because she's married and stuff, you know. I'm just studying Japanese. I said, you can travel. I said, you got a camera, right? She said, yes. I said, you know how to write? You seem educated. She said, yeah. I said, well, just go around, you know, to different parts of Japan, take pictures, like 10 to 20 pictures, and make you a photo book, you know, and talk to the people, or go to the information center for the city, get the information for whatever you're taking pictures of, and just write it down. It's not plagiarism, because, you know, when people talk about the castle, you know, it's a fact that somebody did this to the castle and this happened, that happened. So you can just write that, put it in there, and then write whatever you want, you know, your feelings or how you felt or whatever, and just put it on an ebook or whatever and sell it. You know, I said, you can keep yourself busy. I said, you don't have to put yourself in these situations, you know, where you're just imagining yourself to a point of being just miserable in life. You don't have to do that, you know. And then I told her, because it was funny, because what happened was when she had when she had walked into, when I had walked in, because I seen her before, and I just said hi, and then I had walked into that cafe, and there was this pillar. So when I looked to see her, or to look in her direction, the pillar, I only had like a split second to see her, and I, you know, said hi, and then she said hi, and by the time I caught it, was like on the peripheral. I think that's what it's called. My English is going bad. And then when I passed the pillar, the normal thing is to look, but I was on the phone, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to the restroom, and I'll just go and talk to her later. So I kept on going, and I didn't look in her direction. And this is, you know, and what I'm saying is so programmed, because in our countries, or if you got a respectable country or culture or whatever, when you see someone and you walk by, that it's normal for us in the Westerners to look again, you know, and say hi. Or maybe it's not, you know. For me, it's natural for me, but, you know, being in Japan and kind of find out that a lot of the natural stuff is like really being programmed and stuff. So I just kept on going, and then I came back and I said, "Next, I said, anybody see her?" She said, "No." So I sat next to her, and I'm talking on the phone to Tikio Sam, and you know, I want to get off the phone so I can chat with her, you know, but me and him was talking about something important. So all of a sudden, she just turns and interrupts me and starts talking to me. So I have to get off in such a way where I can't ignore her. So I had to get off the phone, you know, and disrupt my phone.